is a brand new day. And today, the standard we're working on is public speaking school. Children, this is, I believe, our second public speaking school of the year. And we have some very well prepared students. I know the audience has prepared for their digging. And I know that we have had all week to work on our responses. We should be pretty used to this by now. Remember, we are in year 2 of public speaking school. And so I am very, very in a lot of anticipation to see the assignments for today. So first, we're going to go over who's giving a part today, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. For our public talk entitled American Imperialism, we will have our dear friend Miss Emery Kennett give that part. For our Digging for Historical Gems, we will ask Miss Candice Wanderson to give that part for us. And last but not least, we will end our school with a historical reading taken from page 300 and 301 by our dear friend Mr. Ellis Andrews. Can we get a shot of the parents in the back? Papa Kennett, Papa Wanderson, here to see their sweet babies. Let's give them a round of applause, please. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to invite up our first student speaker for this morning to give us the public talk entitled American Imperialism. Let's give a warm welcome to Miss Emery Kennett.
Hello, my name is Emery, and I will be reading to you my talk about imperialism. Imperialism is when nations built empires by adding colonies. Let's say that Europe wanted to buy one of Australia's colonies. That would be imperialism. May you please follow along as I read pages 297, paragraphs 1 through 4. In 1867, Russia offered to sell its colony of Alaska to the United States. The Secretary of State, William Seward, convinced Congress to buy Alaska. Most Americans believed that buying Alaska was not a good idea. They call Alaska Seward's folly. Then, in 1896, miners found gold in the region. Thousands of people went to the region hoping to get rich. Very few discovered gold. What people did discover was that Alaska's fish, forests, and minerals turned out to be worth more than their gold. In 1912, Alaska became a United States territory. In 1959, Alaska became the 49th state. Hawaii is a group of islands in the Pacific Ocean several thousand miles west of California. The first people to settle there came from Asia, probably more than 1,500 years ago. The first Americans to come to Hawaii were mostly traders and missionaries, who arrived in the late 1700s. Afterwards, Americans began setting up the sugar and pineapple plantation site. America ended up gaining Hawaii because Queen Liliuokalani, who was Queen of Hawaii, wanted power and land given back to the native Hawaiians. American plantation owners were worried that she was gaining more power and that she would eventually have too much power. America ended up with Alaska because the current Secretary William Seward convinced Congress to buy Alaska. William thought they needed Alaska because he knew it would have great resources. The term yellow journalism is fake or false information presented as a fact. It was needed for imperialism because to get people to believe something that is necessary to gain power. Yellow journalism can be used to provide reasons for taking over other colonies. Yellow journalism also keeps keep citizens of the imperial leader's country from rejecting or refusing to go along with the powerful leader's wishes and or plans. Roosevelt believed in building the Panama Canal because he believed in a strong military. He wanted U.S. ships to be able to travel between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans more quickly. He also knows it would make shipping goods to and from other countries faster. Will you please follow along as I read page 300, paragraph 1. After the Spanish-American War, Theodore Roosevelt returned to the United States. He became president in 1901 and served until 1909. President Roosevelt believed that the United States should build a canal linking the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The canal would save ships the long, expensive trip around the southern tip of South America when traveling from the east coast of the United States to the west coast. According to page 300, paragraph 1, it mentions the canal would save ships the long, expensive trip around the southern tip of South America. This shows that the canal would make it easier for people who are traveling or making trade. In the past, we used imperialism to gain power. Now we use imperialism as a form of safety. In the modern day, we have military bases in certain areas. These bases spread out strategically throughout other countries. They help protect us overseas in the threat of an attack. I think imperialism is a good way to ensure our safety. We also learn about other cultures by being positioned in these other countries. Overall, I think imperialism is a good tool for attacks in battles because you either have power or you're always ready. Thank you all for following me along as I read to you my public talk.
Hey, Emery. I thought that was a very well done public talk. I just want to bring out a few things and then we will move along to the next part, but I really like how you prepared your talk. It showed, the way you delivered it showed that you really took your time. Maybe you worked with your parents a little bit at home to try and, get everything together for today. I think this may have been your first public talk as well. And just the pace, the volume, especially the information that you gave about yellow journalism and how it was needed for citizens in the country to believe that imperialism was okay. That's some real spot-on work that you did that's not brought out in the book. It wasn't brought out in the notes, but you did that research on your own, so you brought something new to the discussion, which I really enjoyed. Your counsel point was fluent delivery, and for fluent delivery, it says we want to read and speak in such a manner that our words and thoughts flow smoothly, and you came up here and you really did that. That is one of the many great examples of a public talk, and I hope that you and future classes go back and watch this just to show how a public talk should be done. So let's give Miss Emery Cannon a round of applause. Oh my goodness. I've been having this back pain for 2 solid years now. You know where I get it from? I've been, what's the word?
Digging.
I've been digging. But I found someone very special. Their dad actually came here today as well, because their dad needs to see the expertise of how you really get some quality when you start digging for historical gems. So let's invite up our expert, and I want to hear some expert comments as well. Let's invite up our expert, Miss Candice Wanderson, to give us Digging for Historical Gems.
independence, the planters owned most of the land and businesses in Hawaii. Many Hawaiians were unhappy with the planters' increasing wealth and power. Queen Lali'aukalani wanted power and land returned to the native Hawaiians. The wealthy American plantation owners feared the Queen's plans. They led a revolt in 1893 that forced the Queen from power. After the revolt ended, Americans in Hawaii asked to join the United States. In 1898, Hawaii became U.S. territory. In 1959, it became the 50th state.
Thank you. How did Hawaii join the U.S.? Mara?
Hawaii joined the United States because they were unhappy with the planters' increasing wealth and power. They led a revolt in 1893 that forced the Queen from power. After the revolt ended, Americans in Hawaii asked to join the United States. They joined August 21st, 1959. They became the 50th state.
Thank you for that wonderful answer. My answer is Hawaii joined the U.S. because many Hawaiians were unhappy with the planters' increasing wealth and power. They led a revolt in 1893 that forced the Queen from power. A revolt is a rebellion. After the revolt ended, they asked to join the U.S. In 1898, Hawaii became a U.S. territory. In 1959, it became the 50th state. Everyone, please turn to page 300. Can I get a reader for page 300 to read the main idea and paragraph 1? Graham?
The United States built the Panama Canal to open a route between the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. After the Spanish-American War, Theodore Roosevelt returned to the United States. He became president in 1901 and served until 1909. President Roosevelt believed in the United States should build a canal linking the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The canal would save ships the long and expensive trip around the southern tip of South America when traveling from the east coast of the United States to the west coast.
Thank you. Why did the U.S. want to make the ocean trip from coast to coast shorter? Mara?
After the Spanish-American War, Theodore Roosevelt returned to the United States. He became president in 1901 and served until 1909. President Roosevelt believed that the United States should build a canal linking the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The canal would save ships the long, expensive trip around the southern tip of South America when traveling from the east coast of the United States to the west coast.
Thank you. My answer is we wanted to make the ocean trip from coast to coast shorter because it would cost people much less money from traveling from the southern tip of South America than traveling from the east coast of the U.S. to the west coast. What does this week's reading teach me about history? Pat?
It teaches me about life in the late 1800s to the early 1900s. It also teaches me about the Spanish-American War and how it affected America. Lastly, it teaches me about our ancestors' life when they were alive. That is what this week's reading teaches me about history.
Will?
This week's reading teaches me about the Panama Canal. It also teaches me about how Hawaii became the 50th state in the revulsion of Hawaii.
This week's reading taught me that Dole declared Hawaii an independent republic. Spurred by the nationalism arose by the Spanish-American War, the United States annexed Hawaii in 1898. At the urging of President William McKinley, Hawaii was made a territory in 1900, and Dole became its first governor.
Thank you for those wonderful answers. My answer is, this week's reading teaches me about U.S. imperialism. This week's reading also teaches me about the purpose of the Panama Canal. This week's reading also teaches me how and why Hawaii joined the U.S. This week's reading also teaches me about persecution and how it impacted many European immigrants. Persecution is unfair treatment or punishment. Lastly, this week's reading teaches
teaches me the laws against immigrants and the hard times. What points can I use from this week's reading to teach someone about this topic? Hannah?
I can use my points of making a poster and posting it around the school so people can see it and learn what I learned and everybody else learned.
Thank you. Mara?
In the reading, I learned about what imperialism means, so I can tell them what it means. To also teach them about how it was a big deal back then. For example, imperialism can be in the form of a colony where a foreign country is in control of protectorate with the local government controlled by a foreign country. A foreign country can also exert a great deal of economic influence. One of the most widespread forms of imperialism was colonization.
Thank you. Will?
I can teach someone about the Panama Canal and why Theodore Roosevelt wanted to build this canal to save money. I also can teach them about how Hawaiians led the revolt which ended up leading to them joining the United States and becoming the 50th state.
Thank you for all those wonderful answers. My answer is, some important points I can use from this week's reading is that persecution is unfair treatment or punishment. I also know what the purpose of the Panama Canal is and what life back then would be without it. Also, today, the Panama Canal is getting a $6 billion makeover. Over 1 million ships have been on the canal. I also learned that in 1977, President Jimmy Carter and General Omar Sojourner were the owners of the Panama Canal. Lastly, the canal costed about $375 million. Thank you for listening to my part, Digging for Historical Truths.
All right. I thought that was just like what your dad said. That was a great job. The way you came up here and conducted that, man, some days for social studies, I should just sit down and give you the lesson plan and let you run it. Because, I mean, that's Miss Wanderson right there. I really, really liked just how you were so efficient and just, you knew the answers that you were going to get. You knew how much timing 7 minutes, 27 seconds, or an 8-minute part. That's a great job. Your counsel point was visual contact. I noticed that when you would call people, you would look at them right in their eyes as they were giving you their answer. You really made it to where it was just a one-on-one thing. And the way you're dressed became serious. You know, that's a proud Papa back there. Put the camera on Papa. That's a happy man. So
Thank you so much.
I don't really have too much to say. I mean, that's how you do it. That is another great example. If you ever get the assignment for digging for historical gems, you got some great people that you can go watch. And this is one of them. All right. So now we have reached the close of our school. We're going to invite up our final student speaker, Mr. Ellis Andrews, doing our historical reading, taken from page 300 and 301.
Building the Panama Canal. After the Spanish-American War, Theodore Roosevelt returned to the United States. He became president in 1901 and served until 1909. President Roosevelt believed that the United States should build a canal linking the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The canal would save ships the long, expensive trip and around the southern tip of South America, when traveling from the East Coast to the United States to the West Coast. The best place for a canal was at the narrowest point in Central America, which was the Isthmus of Panama. An isthmus is a narrow strip that links two larger pieces of land. It has water on both sides. Panama was part
of the South American country of Colombia. Roosevelt tried to buy land for the canal from Colombia. The Colombian government would not sell the land. Roosevelt tried another plan. He hoped the people of Panama would win their independence from Colombia. The new leaders of Panama agreed to let the United States build the Panama Canal. Building the canal was difficult, dangerous, and expensive. It took about 10 years to complete. In August 1914, the Panama Canal finally opened. For ships that used the canal, the trip from coast to coast took only weeks instead of months. Alaska and Hawaii became parts of the United States in the late 1800s. Victory in the Spanish-American War gave the United States the territories of Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. President Roosevelt built the Panama Canal to shorten the trip from coast to coast. By the early 1900s, the United States had become an international power.
Okay, all right. Man, oh man. Y'all really have been doing this going on 2 years. That reading, Ellis, was great. It was calm. It was very smooth how you delivered. Your counterpoint was accurate reading. That was an accurate reading. All those names that he read were not easy. Puerto Rico is one of them. Puerto. You would think that it may be Puer or something like that, but he knew exactly how to pronounce it. Puerto Rico. The reason he knew how to pronounce it was because he practiced. I worked with him. Maybe he did a little bit at home, but that's what you do when you get these assignments. You prepare for them. You make sure that when you get up here, you deliver on your assignment. And all 3 of our student speakers did that today. We have 2. That's 2 public speaking schools with your class where they've been great back to back. So those of you who have assignments coming up in October, you got a lot to live up to. So let's give a big round of applause to our student speakers for today. Let's give a big round of applause to our parents in the back. And lastly, you guys helped to make it a very special time.